Good morning and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I've travelled down to Shrewsbury and I'm actually outside Haughmond Abbey. It's an Augustinian ruin founded in the early 12th century. I'm actually reading this off a sign here. You can see it if you like. The buildings were erected between the 12th and 15th century. There are substantial remains of the abbot's lodging, refectory and cloister. Now the Fitz-Allen family were associated with this place, who went on to become Earls of Arundel. I'm waiting for the gate to open because, unfortunately for me, I've arrived too early and it doesn't open till 10 o'clock. It's about 9:45 now, so as soon as it opens I shall be in there and you're going to be with me and you can see this beautiful ancient monument. Well. Just take a look at this. This is Haughmond Abbey. It's quite spectacular, isn't it? 12th century. Can you imagine living here? Have a little look inside. It's very damp underfoot, but then it's been raining. I've just been speaking to the keeper of this place. He lives in a little house to my left hand side, and she's just been explaining to me how cold it is and she can only afford a little electric heater which you can't have on too often because it costs too much. So that is disgusting, but she obviously likes being here. Abbot's withdrawing chambers. The upper and lower floors of this building were comfortable rooms for the abbot. Here he could retire from the great hall to relax or entertain privileged guests. It's an awesome place to be in. Can you imagine when this was fully functional, how luxurious this would have been for the well-to-do. People with money, earls. Oh, it's glorious. It's just glorious. And here we have an artist's impression of the Abbot's Hall in the 14th century. Imagine the splendour in this time. Imagine the splendour. Directly to my right, what do you think this would have been? Barbecue area? It's obviously some form of chimney. 12th century barbecues, eh? I can imagine them having a full hog roasting in that tunnel. Unfortunately, I can't go up there. There's a fabulous gate here in keeping with the 12th century theme, and the steps that lead up we can't go into, unfortunately. What a shame, what a shame. Nice view over Shropshire, Shrewsbury. I got up too early. The walkway's there. As it goes across this wall, you can just see the underside of the steps that I've just seen. This was probably quite a magnificent window in there at one point in time in the 12th century. It's nice being in here. Move on, move on. Abbey panorama. From here you can gain a good impression of the layout of the whole Abbey complex. What once was the kitchen, the remains of the refectory, decorated doorway, chapter house, which I'm going to look at next, and ruins of the dormitory. I've just found some stairs here. They don't go very far, and they're extremely worn and narrow. And they lead here Let's get hold of this for another little view. See, the grounds were quite enormous. I'm loving this. Don't know about you, but I'm loving this. I do like history. The kitchen area, the massive fireplaces in this wall show that this building was the kitchen. Food prepared here was taken to the Abbot's Hall on the left or to the refectory on the right. And look at these huge chimneys. Wowee! There's another one next door, so this quite clearly was the kitchen area. All the walls once did stand there, great walls enclosing the kitchen. There's another chimney. Looks like there may have been some restoration at one point. There's red brick, I don't know. And a view to the top. Let's explore further. This was the refectory. It was the canon's dining hall. Good grief, it was raised over a pillared undercroft which was probably used for storage. Quite a grand doorway. Here we have the cloister, which was used for meditation. Look at these lovely little carvings. The stone. Very different. Oh. Heavens. God, it's like being in a crypt. Is this how they buried their dead? There's actually information here. There they are, they're tomb slabs, 13th and 14th century tomb slabs. These were cleared from the Abbey site in the 20th century, probably from the church. One carries an inscription to Olympias de Se, a benefactress of the Abbey. Wow. Wow. Get a load of the roof. I very much doubt that's original. Still a fascinating place to be. Is this a font where baptisms took place? I don't know. Oh, there in the distance, that's where the keeper of this place actually lives. A little tiny cottage. She's extremely friendly, and she did politely ask if I wouldn't fly a drone, so I will respect her wishes. Well, there's nobody here, I will respect her wishes. I won't fly my drone here, but looking at it from the ground is plenty good enough for me. As this sign dictates, I'm now standing outside the west end of the Abbey Church, besides the ruins of the porch. This was where the public entered the building. The church was begun around 1170 on a cruciform plan and probably possessed a central tower. Good grief. You can see the remains of what church once was here. It really is a spectacular place to visit. If you live in Shrewsbury, get yourself down here. If not, get yourself down here. This was a fantastic place to visit. I'm enamoured by the history and the splendour of the place and the surrounding area. There's actually 2 ponds over there. Now these were stocked with fish to put on the abbot's table. So they ate quite well, didn't they? Anyway, I'm going to make my way somewhere else now. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I've enjoyed making it, I must admit. It took me nearly 2 hours to get here by car, but it was worth it. Absolutely worth it. So, Magman signing off. Adios y hasta luego, mi amigos y amigas.